we got to talk a lot again about Tom Thibodeau and getting fired in New York. I yesterday said I think it was the right move. It was really the only move if you want to be a great championship team. I go and I watch what everyone else is saying on ESPN and on Fox and on Instagram and TikTok and all these social media accounts. It is the trendiest thing in the world to hate on James Dolan right now, which I'm not saying he's a good owner, but it's hating on James Dolan and saying that Tom Thibodeau absolutely should have a job. This is ludicrous. He took him farther than they've ever been in 25 years. That's all true, but are you trying to be good or are you trying to be great? That's what it comes down to. Do you want to be good or do you want to be great? If you want to be good, hire Tom Thibodeau. Keep Tom Thibodeau. You'll continue to be good as the New York Knicks. You'll continue to win 45 to 55 games. You'll continue to get to the second round of the playoffs, maybe the occasional lightning in a bottle Eastern Conference Finals, but you absolutely will not make the NBA Finals and you will not win an NBA championship. So do you want to be good or do you want to be great? If you want to be great, you got to take risks. That's what I said yesterday. I stick by that today. So I think the Knicks did the right thing. I don't hate Tom Thibodeau. I think he's a good coach. I just don't think he's a championship coach. And I think that James Dolan and the New York Knicks looked at that and they felt the same way. Now, you can hate on James Dolan all you want. I agree he's underachieved. He's clearly not a good NBA owner because he's in the biggest market in the United States and they haven't even been to an NBA Finals in the last 25 years. In fact, this was their first conference finals in the last 25 years. So clearly things are not going well for the New York Knicks. That said, I think he looks at his roster and says, you know what, we got a pretty good roster here. Maybe we just need a different captain. And so he's going to make that move. There is also rumor out there that Giannis might want to play for either the Knicks, the Lakers, or the Heat if he leaves Milwaukee. Maybe they know something we don't know. Maybe Giannis doesn't like Thibs. Total speculation. I don't know. Something to think about. So if I'm James Dolan, if I'm the New York Knicks, front office, I look at this and I say, okay, look, he does have a winning record. He did take us to a conference finals, our first one in 25 years. The players do seem to like him, but, that Jalen Brunson clip that's going around, like, what's he going to say? Is he going to throw his coach under the bus immediately after they get ousted from the playoffs? That's just not going to happen. But it does seem like the players like him. So you go through all these things and you're like, okay, but are we really contending for a title right now? And I don't think that you are. I don't think that Knicks fans truly in their heart believe they're competing for a title right now. Another thing you have to take into consideration is his age. He's 67 years old. And the farthest he's been is the conference finals, which he did this year and he did in 2011. And if I'm a front office, I look at the history of the NBA. Larry Brown won an NBA title at age 63, which was very late in his career. He'd been coaching for many years at that point. But Thibodeau's already 4 years older than that. And that's the only example I can find of a coach who was a head coach for years and years and years and eventually broke through. Usually if you don't do it in your first 15 full seasons, which Thibodeau has, you're not going to do it. And at his age, I don't know why you keep hanging on. He's been doing this since he was 52, I guess that would put it, as a head coach. To me, if I'm the ownership, I just take a chance on a younger guy and hope that the worst case scenario is maybe we lose in the first round. I can't imagine with this roster they miss the playoffs entirely, especially in the East. So you're still going to win enough games to get people excited, go to the playoffs, earn that money, sell tickets, all that stuff. Why not take a chance on a guy that might get you to the promised land and just see things a little bit differently? Get that rotation from a 7-man rotation up to an 8 or 9-man rotation.